Back at it again with my second ever video, and today I just wanted to talk about the general principle of balance, what this kind of means to me, and how it's led to a pretty happy mental and physical living situation that I'm in right now, and just some tips that I have for people that are similar around my age, which is about like late teens, early 20s, pretty much just college and university years. So let's just get right into it. Now, before we go into this, I need to give a very, very important disclaimer. I'm 20. I live with my parents. I have a job. I have a very constant stream of income that is going into my bank account that I'm doing my best to save. I really don't have to worry about bills or debt over my head. I have a lot of freedom while I'm still young, and a lot of freedom in how I spend my time, which not a lot of people have. And I'm just in an unbelievably fortunate position right now in my life that I'm very grateful for. And while there are definitely people that I know about personally that are way, way better off than me, there are many, 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 many more that are in significantly worse positions than me, that are having problems that I just could not imagine dealing with. Now, with that being said, this video is mainly for people who are in a very similar situation to me and want to learn how to better balance any commitments that they might have going on right now. But I do genuinely believe that there is value and takeaways that others who might be in different living situations right now than me can take away and help improve their lives, which is the main reason why I was kind of compelled to share this journey of balance and balancing my commitments and my interests. I really just don't have all the answers in the world. I mean, I'm 20 for fuck's sake, but I'm not claiming to. But I hope that what I can say can bring genuine value to some people and help improve somebody's life, even just by a little bit. So, with that out of the way, the main stuff that I balance right now can really be broken down to a few subcategories. The first of which is going to be studying, which is pretty much just my uni work. I am pretty close to finishing up this uni semester, but that's still definitely the main thing that I'm focusing on balancing right now. The second of which is going to be gym work, which I go to the gym 4 times a week, which is anterior posterior on a 2x frequency. I'm also keeping track of my current diet plan and getting adequate sleep, or at least aiming to most days. And I'm also doing some bouldering on the side with some friends, which I do about twice a week, which is pretty fun. I also have my part-time job, and I thankfully have the luxury of working relatively on the side for about 10 to 15 hours during a semester and about 15 to 20 outside. I also have this YouTube channel, which I'm still kind of figuring out how to set aside time for the parts surrounding it, whether that be recording this as you're hearing right now, writing this script, which I'm currently reading right now, and also just playing some Demon Souls in the background, which is a pretty fun game. And then lastly, I just kind of have my personal hobbies. That's mainly gaming, but also reading before going to bed and after waking up. Mainly after doing some light meditation in the morning as well. And yeah, as I said before, gaming, which is a pretty big part of my life. And I do try to aim to set aside some time in the week, if not pretty much every single day, to just kind of hop on Demon Souls or just hop on another game. Like I've been playing GTA 4 recently as well, wrapping up my journey with that. And it's pretty fun. So yeah, those are pretty much the main subcategories that I have. And it is quite a bit, but again, as I said, I'm very, very grateful that I'm in a position right now where I can work on building myself up and relaxing as well. And I really just have a stupid amount of free time that I can set aside for spending as time on these recreational activities, and I've very carefully chosen a lot of the stuff that I have set aside for here, as it really just does give me fulfillment in a lot of different ways than one. One of the main ways that I've actually been able to balance out a lot of this shit, especially recently, is simply by just recognizing and using the free time that I have wisely, which mainly went from obliterating my screen time by basically cutting out Instagram and TikTok. A couple of weeks ago, I found an app that lets you put a 10 to 20 second long buffer before opening any app you want, which makes mindlessly clicking on random apps like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and even Discord for me just completely go away. And I've tried going cold turkey on apps before and relying on basic willpower, but anybody trying to beat an addiction knows that willpower alone just won't cut it. But this simple fix pretty much just killed my screen time from, on a good day, 1 hour each on Instagram and TikTok to effectively 5 to 10 minutes colloquially. The only time that I even open up these apps anymore is mainly just to maintain TikTok streaks with some friends or check DMs on Instagram once or twice a day. But even then, I usually just check them on my PC as well, and I personally find myself a lot more in control of a scrolling session if I'm on my computer as compared to my phone. Outside of the screen time obliteration, though, I luckily haven't really needed to cut much out of my life vices wise. There has been a pretty steady decline in alcohol consumption in Gen Z, and I personally have never had any alcohol as it never really was something that appealed to me, along with weed, which has been having a bit of an inverse growth rate compared to the decline in alcohol consumption. But similarly, I just haven't really had an interest in partaking in recreational drugs, not even out of any health or personal reason, but simply just due to a lack of interest. Because of this, I'm pretty hesitant to suggest to others to just simply cut out substances like alcohol, nicotine, weed, and other drugs. But that's mainly just because I don't have any first-hand experience dealing with them, let alone quitting them. And I'm also not anybody's parent and understand that you guys have free will to do whatever the hell you want. But what I can say is that not partaking in this culture has saved me a considerable amount of money that I've put towards hobbies and interests that I'm passionate about, mainly in the form of buying books, games, vinyls, and CDs. So I do think that it is something to consider. Now, going on to more practical tips that I personally use, I have been very, very slow at implementing a healthy balance of all these commitments in my life. And the current fortunate position that I'm in is mainly due to lessons that I've had from failing to balance these, whether that's results in feeling stressed out, in procrastinating uni work, being inconsistent with my gym schedule, spending more time on social media watching people play and talk games rather than actually playing and talking about them. And I'm still relatively young in the grand scheme of things, and I'm still spending every day learning at how to better manage my time, break bad habits, and try out new things. Now, I don't have all the answers in the world, but I do have some that have helped me out tremendously. The first of which has just been to take things slow. I've been going to the gym really for on and off periods of time in the last 3 or so years now, and I've only really started going consistently as of mid to late December until now of early June 2026. I found a routine that I enjoyed doing, anterior posterior twice a week. I found a dietary plan that worked for me, staying in a calorie deficit until very recently, and mainly focusing on getting my base level of macronutrients in every day, and picking healthier options as well that fit my diet when I can, along with getting an adequate amount of sleep, which is about 8 to 10 hours a day on most days. And I also forced myself to stay consistent with it by enjoying myself and telling myself on days that I didn't want to go that that was when I needed to go. That was the kind of mindset that helped build up going to the gym pretty consistently, along with also having the gyms that I go to either be in pretty close proximity to me, or in the case of bouldering, just going in a carpool most sessions so that I can share that experience with friends. And I carried that energy into the start of the uni semester as well, as the 4 days a week frequency of my split allowed me to take 3 rest days, which I could pretty evenly split up amongst the days that I don't have much uni or work with my job, and spend 2 of those days going bouldering with my friends as a way to relax. I've also found that setting little short-term goals works as well. Like, I've just recently ended a cut that's lasted for the past 6 months, and I'm now going into a lean bulk. But I've also been aiming to work up my strength and eventually hit a 2 plate bench, and think that now that I'm at a pretty lean base, the lean bulk can actually push me to get that little bit of extra weight up on the bar. I have this long-term goal of having a body that I'm happy with, but the short-term session-to-session goals of increasing the weight and slightly longer milestone that I want to hit. As far as personal hobbies go, I've just been able to really change how I spend my free time and partake in doing stuff that fulfills me instead of doing useless procrastination and spending hours and hours glued to a phone screen. For example, I recently went into the city with one of my good friends because I wanted to pick up a couple volumes of Vinland Saga to read over the semester break. Now, as I could have spent my time commuting, I could have been spending that time either scrolling on my phone aimlessly, or how I decided to spend it, I brought my 3DS with me, as I've also slowly been chipping away at Pokemon Platinum over the past few months, and I managed to beat the entire 5th gym throughout my time out, Rather than wasting my time looking at dumb bullshit on my phone, I changed this otherwise useless free time that I would be wasting away and did something productive with it, playing a game that I'm enjoying. I think that honestly, we've been lying to ourselves about how much free time we really have, and we honestly can get a lot more stuff done that helps relax and ground ourselves than we realize. At the end of the day, it really just is a mindset issue that I personally had, and after shifting around some bad habits away from the good ones, I personally found myself being able to balance out a lot more of my personal and career related interests and just improve my mental health tenfold compared to even a couple years ago. And one last tip that I have for more uni students: get your assignments and homework done early, man. I personally am in a pretty neat position right now as I'm doing a couple subjects I failed previously, so I know a bit of the work beforehand. But life just feels so much more free when you don't have any assignments that literally take 1 hour looming over your head, and that pressure has previously resulted in stress that causes me to overly procrastinate and put myself in very, very uncomfortable positions with my course. Now, there's a lot more that I could talk about on this topic, but I think that's about where I want to wrap up for today. Thanks again for watching all the way if you're still here. This script took a bit longer for me to write than the last one, and I probably could have followed my advice a bit better here, as I did have a few breaks of scrolling that took a little bit longer than I anticipated or necessarily wanted, but I'm not claiming to be a perfect person or anything, and if anything, I think the point of this video was really just to remind myself about how fortunate I am that I really woke up this year and started to take further action and advantage on the situation that I'm currently in, and spending my time in wiser ways to help improve my life. I know people that are younger than me that woke up sooner than me, and I know people that are older than me that still haven't woken up yet. So if anything, I'm just super grateful to myself that I'm taking action now. And there's an old saying that I like to live by that I think applies to a lot of cases in life and not just this, where the best time to do X amount of thing was X years ago, but the second best time was now, which has given me a lot of peace of mind over the years. If you enjoyed this video or can relate, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment as well, as I'm still pretty new to posting on YouTube and want to hear feedback from you guys about this topic or just about the video itself. I'm wishing you guys a good rest of the day, wherever you are, and take care.